It's showtime.
The passageway to the office is now a lot darker than it used to be because there's actually a door on the office now. It's still yet to be painted. In fact, that's the final thing we need to do. And of course, the reason the door's there is to keep household noise out when I'm recording videos or playing games and recording games. So there's also this little notice outside to make people think about barging in and possibly ruining my recording. Anyway, without further ado, let's open the door and see what's on the other side with the new office. I think the first thing you probably notice is the theme of the office. It's a green theme, and a lot of the LEDs are green. Right now what we're looking at is the bench tops to the left and underneath the window, and the 3 workstations where I'll work on customers' computers when they have to come into the office for work. Each of these workstations is equipped with all the cables necessary to put into the back of a PC, and then we have this single keyboard, mouse and monitor set up here for displaying whatever is on the customer's PCs. Everything passes through this 4-port switch. So there are actually 2 workstations attached to that and 2 bench testing computers attached to that. The bench testing computers, they live up here on this shelf. So that one there is my trusty old Windows XP with all the necessary cables and connections hanging out the back for connecting hard drives that we may take out of customers' computers. And this one next to it is a Windows 10 PC, again with the cables and connectors on the back for attaching hard drives and so on and so forth. Trying to do as much cable management as possible here. I've got a few things tidied, but of course these cables have to be loose because when we're plugging hard drives and whatever in, they sit on this shelf. But the old grey trunking that was in the old office has now been painted this nice green colour, and any cables that are permanently in place are hidden in that trunking wherever possible. Underneath those shelves, as you can see, because the camera really doesn't like it, there is a lot of light coming from LEDs. Those are actually embedded into a groove underneath the shelves. So they do shine a lot of light into this work area, which is otherwise quite dark, even on the most sunny days. Next to this here, these are the pop-up power supplies or power adapters. You may remember I bought 3 of these. In the final office fit out, I actually only used 3 of them. This is the one with the 2 USB connectors on the top as well for connecting to tablets and mobile phones and such like. So when they're not in use, they sit quite nicely down into the little hidey holes. And there's another one here right next to this workstation. This one's just the 3 power outlets. And then this workstation over here is probably, this is where I would work on laptops and things like that. So the connections here are different. There's no connection to the monitor and the keyboard and mouse over there. And this is the 3rd pop-up power supply, again with the 2 USBs on it. Next to that is our home phone, and then my trusty ever-charged dive torch, the D-Link modem and switch, my Cytec X55 Rhino HOTAS, which I use to play Elite Dangerous, and just pulling back here to let you see the main monitor setup. Down below we've got the 32-inch BenQ, which is a real nice size screen, and then up above that is the 24-inch BenQ. Next to that is my Blue Yeti microphone with a pop filter on the front, but also this wonderful little cone of silence that I made out of just a foam that I got from a local store. And the reason why it's got this cone of silence on it is because now that this Windows 7 computer lives on the desktop, it is quiet, but this microphone is quite sensitive and it was picking up the sound of the fans. So I put this cone of silence on it, and that really does make a difference. In front of that is the headphones I use, the Razer Kraken Pro. The Blue Yeti is suspended on a spider mount, I think you call it, and it's all supported by a Rode arm embedded into the desktop there. Above the Windows 7 computer is the 19-inch Acer monitor. That monitor displays the information that comes out of this computer down here. This is the computer that runs the Mumble server and the Ark Survival Evolve server that I share with a few friends that I game with. Coming around here, underneath this little shelf is the keyboard and mouse for the game server. On top we've got my trusty briefcase with all my tools in that travels in between here and the car, and right next to that is our network printer for the household. Now of course, if you've had a look at the original Office video, you will remember the nightmare that was the cabling. So far you can see that cabling is pretty well hidden, as much as it possibly can be. But of course, if you look underneath and behind the scenes, you actually see how bad the cabling is. So I'll just get underneath the desk here and try and give you a better look at some of the cabling. I've tried to group the cabling into things that are related to each other, but there's still a lot of stuff that you just got to try and hide somehow. This metal bar here, even though this benchtop is, I think it was 18mm thick benchtop, it started to sag in the middle slightly. So just to make sure it didn't go any more saggy, we put this metal bar across, and it really seems to have stabilized it completely. So there's that wonderful little 4-drawer cabinet. Well, it's not really a cabinet, but a 4-drawer stacker, I suppose, where I keep all my useful little things that I use on a daily basis. In this cupboard here, that's where the household switch lives. So again, the cabling for this has been grouped as much as possible into groups. And that's what those power boards look like when they're down in their hidey hole. They do take quite a bit of space, but I guess, you know, if you're careful about what you've got in the cupboards underneath it, you can make allowances for that. The LEDs around the edges of here, again, they're all set into a recess, and they actually help at night time when you're opening up cupboards, because the cupboards are all lit up with the green LEDs and you can see what you're trying to grab. What else have we got to show you? Oh, of course, the chair. The wonderful AK Racing chair. And basically it was the chair that I saw online and just fell in love with that determined the whole colour scheme of the office. That's why pretty much everything else is green in colour. So it's come a long way from its original look. It's now very clean, neat, tidy and functional, and I must admit it just feels great to be in here now. It really does, it just works for me. I'm very happy with the end result. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you've got any questions or comments about some of the stuff that we've used in the build and the refurb, please leave a comment down below. And of course, if you'd like to see any future videos I might be making, you can subscribe and you'll be notified when I put new stuff out. One of the things that will be coming up in the future is a refurb or an upgrade of this computer, mainly because I'm not too happy now. I have this on the desktop, seeing the radiator and the fans externally exposed. It looks kind of funky, I guess, but I really want to change the whole cooling of that PC. So that's a project for the future for sure. So once again, thanks for watching, and check back for some more videos in the future. Now that darkness has fallen, I just thought I'd do a quick PS to show you what the LEDs in the office look like at night. By a happy coincidence, when I was installing them, because the LED strip doesn't go round the bend easily, it kind of sticks out in that corner but casts a wonderful little green shadow, or green light, across the cupboard doors, which I quite like the look of. It really is good. Just moving around to take a look at the LEDs all around the edge underneath. And then I've switched the monitors off as well, so you can see the light from the LEDs behind the monitors against the soundproofing wall. Also, you may have noticed the BenQ 32-inch stand is slightly raised up. I've got LEDs underneath there, and the whole thing sits on a piece of toughened glass, which kind of gives a nice effect as well. I also did the same thing on the PC over here. It's again raised up on a piece of toughened glass with LEDs underneath. Gives it a nice little glow. So yeah, just a quick PS to show you what the LEDs look like at night. I think it looks fantastic.